welcome back to Crush Improv Plays Dungeons and Dragons, episode 10 of our live stream D&D, joined tonight by everybody. That would be Al, Christine, Dan, Brooke, and Jordan. I'm Andrew, and we're gonna pick right up where we last left off. You all are in the town hall in Saltmarsh, having wandered by after brunch in your new digs, Napoleon's house on the nice part of town. As I recall, Nimralian tossed your cookies crossing the old Sharkfin Bridge, which, don't break a losing streak.
Happens to the best of us.
It does, especially if you've got elf ears. And I gave you a rogues gallery of a whole bunch of new characters, and I didn't give you any helpful map like we've got now with everybody displayed, so I can go through it again and maybe a little bit more briefly, but just to say that
I got 20 minutes.
Yeah, sure. I'm not going to do that this time, but anyway, the southern part of the town hall room is the council chamber, is populated by plush green chairs in front of a semicircular desk. And 7 counselors, lords and ladies of Saltmarsh, are seated behind the desk and in those comfortable chairs. There are also a number of other people in this room. You had already passed through the main building to get here, which there were a total of 4 guards in Saltmarsh colors, wearing scale mail, carrying pikes. And inside this chamber, in addition to all the lords and ladies, the council members, there are two guys with an unmistakable military bearing who are identified to you as Walthus Kang, the... Oh, now I gotta get my sheet out of here. Who's Walthus Kang? He is the... he's one of the leaders of the Watch. So this other thing I've got right here. City Watch there. So Walthus Kang is the commander of the City Watch, and a dwarf named Gaelin is the commander of the Town Hall Guards. So the gentlemen that you passed, the guards that you passed coming in here, are commanded by Gaelin, and Walthus Kang is the leader of the City Watch. Then
Where's
we have...
Gaelin's in front of him. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Leaning against the side of the room, sort of waiting in case they're called upon. Norman, you see that Nicholas is here, and he is sitting beside you. He looks anxious, like he is looking to make a case to the council, but maybe hasn't got it. Maybe he whispers to you when you're in here that he's waiting for his turn to speak, and they're really caught up in something. There is a very outlandish outlander, a major wizard of some kind in that other corner. I will take him there. And if you ask anybody, it's revealed that his name is Keladek. I'm going to just give him the name. He'll always be there. He is a spellcaster of some kind, but he keeps to himself. But he clearly has some business with the council. The town council is free for anybody to attend if they're so interested. But generally nobody does because they're usually not affluent enough to have city business. Finally, the last non-city councilor is a very ornately dressed gentleman who is, somebody tells you his name is Ebstelar Runail, and he's described as... no, really? Let's go find him. A florid human who enjoys wearing loud and colorful clothing as much as he enjoys pastries from the Baker's Guild Hall. So he is clearly a little bit ill-fitting in his garments. He's identified as the master of the Merchants Guild. And he watches the proceedings with interest. So, Lord Timurtikos in the center, he is the oldest and is the current mayor. All of these positions are technically positions held for life. Then you've got Lady Avessa to his left, who is a cleric dressed in the robes of Pelor. Pelor is a god of healing and general goodness. To Timbertico's right is Lord Lassiter, who is an aristocrat whose family's been here for generations. To his right's Lord Erican. He's in his mid-30s. He looks pretty bored. To Erican's right is Lord Lashty, who's a halfling. You've seen him at the Silver Raven. You understand that that's his establishment. Lady Tolliver is a druid, and Dan has seen her in his dreams. She is. It's been told you that she has a shrine, or Oak Island, the southern part of the city, is her domain. Her domain is an area of special significance to the druids.
May I interrupt briefly here?
Of course, druid.
Do we know that Tergar has seen Lady Tolliver in his dreams?
I don't know if Tergar in character has mentioned that.
I have. I've met. Well, they might not realize that's who I saw.
Probably
I
not.
have mentioned to everybody that because I think it came out around the same time that Nem revealed her worries and concerns, and I think I mentioned to the gang that I had a dream that seemed very vivid and real, where I saw who now appears to be Lady Tolliver, and that in the dream we instantly connected. We were talking in Druidic, and that she said her land was in great danger and that she needed my help.
And do I have a sense of brotherly intuition when I see the look on Tergar's face when we enter the council chamber?
I think you get to make the first die roll of the evening and roll an insight check for me, please.
And it's going to do a public D20 here.
That sounds reasonable to me. Well, it's not a 1, so we are definitely getting somewhere. Maybe you're caught up in the moment. The thing you do notice about Lady Tolliver is that she is wearing a symbol of Alona.
Oh, terrific.
A unicorn in a laurel. A small pendant.
I think I'm in love with her.
The last character in this room is Lord Solmore, Anders Solmore. You know him. He's been your confidant, and
he's been our solar mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Solar mate.
I like it. So when you enter, Lord Lassiter had been making some heated arguments about something, and as you enter, Timurtikos slaps a sort of a hammer without a handle, so it's like ceremonial, and it's used to be a gavel, basically. So he slaps it on the table and he says, "Welcome, the heroes from recent adventures. Lord Solmore has told us of your great deeds at the Macaster Mansion. Please welcome, join us here. We have much to ask you about your recent trials." And there's a polite round of applause from the nearby people. Some people are more into it than others.
Keladek, I imagine, being really enthusiastic.
Yeah, who's not as into it?
Lord Erican is not into it. Lord Lassiter is definitely does a little arm cross at this. Ivessa is into it. Tolliver is into it. Solmore is definitely into it. Lashty is super interested. Runail he's definitely appreciative, and you get a grudging nod from Kang and Galen. And of course, Nicholas is a huge Norman supporter, so yeah.
Sorry, it's Lord Erican is then being a jerk, and Lord Lassiter, those two?
Yeah, they're the
by
ones
jerks,
that are kind of being jerky.
They're simply not
Andrew
excited.
said that Erican was bored to begin with, so he may just be bored.
Okay. But is Erican the one that did the arms, or is Lassiter?
Lassiter.
Okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't last super long. But eventually, Timurtikos looks up to you and says, "So, Lord Solmore has told us a bit of these recent events at the Macaster Mansion. We have some questions for you, though, based on recent events. Ebstelar Runail, the master of the Merchants Guild, has identified the goods that have been recovered from the basement area, the caverns beneath the mansion, as goods that have been purloined from his comrades and colleagues in the industry. And Walthus Kang, the leader of the City Watch, has identified much of the weaponry as being crafted here in Salt Marsh for the use of our soldiers. So how it came into the hands of these ruffians that you bested. We are looking to get to the bottom of this. But first, we wish to know more of your events there. How did this come to pass?
Well, we were asked to go by Anders here, I believe, to investigate the the mansion in which two young dwarvian miners had gone missing. Shall I go on?
Please, yes. I'm more. We've heard of the incidents involving the dwarves, and yes,
sorry.
very.
I won't go on and on and on and on.
We're more interested in the ruffians, these so-called pirates that you came into contact with. Do you know much of them? What were your impressions? Most of them are dead, as I understand it.
If someone else could answer that question who had better Wi-Fi during that and knows what he actually asked, that would be great.
I will point out that through all of this, I'm in like a stunned shock and just staring very intently at Lady Tolliver and not really paying attention to a lot of what is being said.
Cute.
Dan, I'll have you make a perception check.
Me?
Yep. No, the other Dan.
Dear God.
Ooh.
15 plus what? What's my perception? 8, so 23.
Nailed it, yeah. She gives absolutely no indication that she recognizes you whatsoever. And after a while, she returns your gaze with a thoughtful, that look of, this guy is interested in me in some way that I don't understand. Do I know him? Why is he looking at me like that? So whether it becomes uncomfortable has a lot to do with whether you continue this piercing stare.
I think once that eye contact is made, I kind of let it go. I think he's savvy enough to know that maybe this isn't the right place and time to make our relationship known. So he'll break contact, but definitely is taken aback by all of this.
Okay, so you're not useful in...
I'm taken aback.
Fair. Does anybody else want to relate details?
Yes, I would just like to say that, yes, most of the pirates are no longer on this world, but we did try to negotiate first.
A lot of negotiation.
And we did try to make a dialogue. And, I come from a similar, always try to be an upstanding citizen. I know what it's like to be in your shoes, and I'm sure you respect our approach. It was very diplomatic, as much as we could before we did. We were forced into violence, but that was not our first choice.
Yes, indeed. And he leans back. There's a attendant over his right shoulder who whispers into his ear, yes, Jojandaron, I believe is your name. Is that right, sir? Sir Knight? Do I understand
yes,
correctly?
I'm a paladin, second level,
Who's
fifth
speaking?
level.
Sorry, who's speaking right now to Joe John?
This is Lord Timurtikos, the mayor of the...
Oh, the mayor. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, the mayor.
Okay.
Says, oh yes, so you attempted to negotiate with him, and did this result in any progress, or did it come to naught and there was nothing to be done but violence?
These people were not interested in any sort of mature dialogue, I'm afraid. Unlike you, I'm sure all are at the council table.
Oh yes, there's much talking that occurs at this table. He looks pointedly at Lassiter. He glances back to you and says, do you know if there was a leader among them?
Sand Ballot was his name. He held a girl hostage and vanished.
Sounds like some kind of wizard to me. Kang, Galen, have you heard of any Sand Ballot? They sort of look at each other and shrug like, no, my lord, haven't heard of anyone by that name, but raiders of all kinds come and go here. But if he disappeared, that's not quite my realm. Glances over to Keladek. Master Keladek, do you have any thoughts on the matter? This is more of your ken than ours. Keladek sort of rouses himself and says, not one of mine. Ah, yes, excellent. All right. Well, yes, thank you for that. So this whole enterprise, I find it most interesting. This is Timbertico's continuing. I find it most compelling that they were underneath the very mansion. How long could they have been there? Is this some sort of hideout, some sort of fortress of theirs? What did you make of that area?
Could I possibly use my zone of truth at this point? Would people know that I'm using it?
I think so, because it's verbal and somatic. So you'd be sort of incanting words, and you would be flailing your arms about in some way to make it happen.
Would it be offensive, do you think, if I asked Timbertico to have a zone of truth to see if we could find out if anyone knew anything? Or
you can ask, or you can do it. It's up
it
to you.
feels a bit. Can I whisper to Nima?
She's right there.
Nima, can I use a zone of truth, or is that kind of a faux pas? Oh no!
I think you've used the zone of silence.
My poor Wi-Fi. I'm terribly awful at social norms. I'm the wrong person to ask. Remember the whole thing between me and Glonda, and we didn't know, and we were making faces. I mean, personally, I wouldn't be offended.
I think your John would know that it's probably poor form to cast a spell, certainly without asking permission.
I was going to ask permission for sure, but I don't know if that was the right time, so I'll just sit back and eyeball everybody.
Okay. So he says, and I heard talk of a ship, some sort of method that was used to communicate with it. Is this the case? Can you elaborate on this, please, one of you? Anyone?
Yes.
It was a small boat in a cove underneath the house. There was like an underground cave. There was a boat that looked like it could go out to the bay.
Oh, Tergar, I think he's referring to the slip of paper we received that has a communication.
What were you referring to, Lord?
And then I'm just gonna start spitting beats. I'm gonna say, ship, long, short, is safe. Short, long, short, long, everything is safe. And I'm just gonna keep going. Is
that what you were referring to? This code thing we found out?
Yes, well, there was some allusion, Lord Solmore. You were saying that they made reference to some ship somewhere. And Anders says, yes, you were mentioning something about a ghost, sea ghost thing.
Oh, yeah. We found a code. You went up to the window, you could signal. Look, it's not rocket science. They're smuggling stuff through that point. Just to know that Tergar is socially awkward and very blunt.
We know.
Yeah.
And from New Jersey.
Yeah, and from New Jersey. Hey,
Hey.
Come on.
This is an armored tracksuit.
Come on, bro.
Well, at this point, Ebstelar Runel pipes up and says, well, I, for one, would be very interested to know more about these smugglers and if they have any more goods from the town. We are very pleased to recover our wares. My fellow merchants have been without them for some time and have lost considerable amount of profit from this. I thank you very much that you are able to capture these rogues, but if their presence continues to be a threat to Salt Marsh, well, this cannot stand. Yes,
Well, we would be happy to help in any way. We have a 6-month lease, so be around.
Yes, we're waiting at least 2 weeks for our ship to be repaired, so we really are just twiddling our thumbs right now.
Is that so? Says Timberticos. Well, I think I should ask the council whether this is a measure that we could implement. We could perhaps see fit to recompense you for your efforts if you were to investigate further the presence of these pirates. And,
yes, we would demand recompensation.
Recompensation, yes. Well,
I specifically don't need money. I just like magic quite a lot, so spells, magic potions. I'm very rich, so I don't need money.
Yes.
I'll take the money.
You can almost feel the eyes on the back of your neck from Keladek. You see an intense amount of interest from that way.
From Kel-
Feeling is mutual. The feeling is mutual.
Mm-hmm. At which point Lassiter stands up and says, "My lords, I must object to this. I can hardly see it fitting to involve ourselves in these matters. Surely this is a matter for the town watch to defend the city, but to go beyond our walls and track down such a threat. Why, half of our number are already in the Dreadwood seeking out some monstrous animals that lay siege to our town. And yet now we need to hire some adventurers to go and find more? I say, why court trouble? This is a needless expense, and it shall not have my vote."
Well, that's one no. Everyone else, yes?
Could I use some charisma or position of privilege or persuasion?
Sure. I think you could definitely roll your persuasion, yeah.
Is this something we really want, guys?
I mean, I think it's the logical place to go.
So 10
what is
plus 7.
17.
Hey.
Great.
So tell me a little bit about the case you make there, Jordan. Act it out.
Lord
Improvise it.
Lassiter, of course, with every dialogue, it has to be two ways, and I appreciate you being so honest and forthright with your opinion. May I just say that we come from Orlane, where I must admit I was given the key to the city for our work solving a previous mystery. We are travelers, we're adventurers, but we have a stake in the places we go. And Orlane, we were just passing through. Today, we are here in Salt Marsh, and we expect to be here for 6 more months. This matters to us. My friend Gnorman is a real stand-up fella. My friend Terragar, we may be brothers, but maybe we're not. It's kind of interesting. And Nima, we were engaged to be married. Almost, but we weren't. And how could I forget Galanda? She even wrote a song for the council today. But she can play that later for you.
Yes.
Lord Lashty, the halfling, stands up at this point. Oh, so I would be most interested to hear such a thing.
Well, I would never want to give an ugly sweater to a fellow performer. But if the mood strikes, either way, we are here for your service, and we gladly merit your consideration. Thank you, Mr. Lassiter.
So Lassiter looks a bit conflicted, and obviously your words have wooed the rest of the council, who are nodding thoughtfully and appreciatively to your words. Other than Erican, who, if he had a watch, you could tell he'd be looking at it, but maybe, he might have like a little pocket watch that he flips out every once in a while. But, looks up every once in a while, to make the appearance that he's following along. Solmore is wrapped with attention. Tolliver is nodding like she's weighing your words. Avessa is definitely considering it. Lashty is just generally intrigued at all the new faces and is taking yours in. And Timurtikos puts his gavel down on the desk and says, "Well, we will consider your words. Perhaps now you may leave us while the council deliberates, and we will give you our decision shortly."
Is there a great coffee place or something we can go? Do you guys have a cafeteria here?
We will bring you some refreshment.
I have a question for you, Mr. Mayor, before we part.
Yes, of course.
You must know all the townspeople.
I've been here for many years, yes. I don't claim to know everybody, but between all of us, we cover a great depth and breadth of the city.
Does the concept of a frightening fellow with a large scar on his face ring a bell?
In Salt Marsh.
Yes.
Scars are quite common among the population here. It is a, how would you call it, a rough and tumble kind of place.
how about if it's any help, he was dear friends with Harlagane.
Harlagane. Is that a name of great import? To some fellow hero of yours?
To me, it was.
Nim rubs the back of Glonda as she could feel the sobs.
Oh, I see. Kang, Gaolin, Harlagane, and Scar-faced man ring a bell? Waltus pipes up. Well, there was that murder the other night that believed the deceased's name was Harlagane. Didn't have no scar on him, though. It's not who you mean.
No. I was a friend of Harlagane's, and I'm looking for a friend of his who might know what happened to him, and he was described to have a scar on the face.
It's a scar on his forehead, lightning bolt shaped. They called him the boy who lived.
Well, I believe he's in another book. Just open that here. Well, perhaps inquiries could be made. The least we could do. Kang, you'll see to it, won't you? Yes, my lord. We'll investigate.
I noticed Kang has a scar of his own on his face.
He does. Different scar. Or I should say, he doesn't seem like the seagoing type. So with that, you get the distinct impression that you should vacate the room. So...
Can we communicate with Keladek in any way? Like invite him for tea or dinner or something?
Well, he also leaves, but he mills around a little bit before. I will just move you all out into this other room here. Oh, there we go. Wow. Look at that. And they're all... So you're all milling about. And you don't hear any discussions behind that door. So
who's Ebstelar Runail again?
He's the head of the Merchants Guild.
Right. Okay. Right.
He was flamboyantly dressed?
Yes.
Yeah.
He looks like a very rich man. Like, I say flamboyantly dressed, like it's impeccably tailored. And, each thread probably costs a silver piece kind of thing.
On our way out, can Nim, drop, because Petrie's just, hanging out in her robes, can she kind of just, drop Petrie behind a cupboard or something so that she might be able to hear what they're all saying?
Yeah, you could leave Petrie behind. There's probably a moment of talk when Lady Tolliver stands up and looks directly at Petrie and says, my lords, ladies, before we continue, I believe somebody may have forgotten something, and is pointing straight towards Petrie.
And Petrie just kind of twitches and cleans her forehead.
She actually gets up and walks straight over to Petrie and opens the door and looks accusingly out at Nim.
Who is doing this?
Lady Tolliver.
My lady.
Hi, lady.
But wait. Okay, so wait, she's doing this as we're leaving?
No, you left Petrie behind. They were about to start talking, and she...
And how is she looking accusingly at me?
She just opened
the door. She seems to know the connection between...
Yeah, to kick Petrie out.
Okay, fine. She's not going to push it, so Petrie flies out.
Oops.
The door slams as she slams it shut. So you find yourselves in a room. You've got Ebstelar, Keladek, Nicholas, and yourselves in here, as well as some guards who are standing at attention. Pretty good job standing.
What time is it right now?
It is just noon.
Okay.
Oh, and some servants come out with some drinks. You see there are 4 pedestals with some miscellaneous statuary on top of it. It's the kind of statuary that looks like it's okay, but not amazing. And a side table set up where some drinks are from
How does Norman know Nicholas?
Gnicholas.
Yes, I know. I'm trying to get that G in. How do you know him again?
We were all came over on the boat together, I believe, right?
Oh, he was on that boat with us originally.
He's the gunpowder person.
Right. Okay.
It was on his way to to showcase it at a some sort of exhibition.
The very place.
Should we not talk to him to see what he thinks about this whole smuggling thing and the lay of the land, what's actually happening in this town?
I mean, Nicholas isn't from here either. Like we all came over together.
That's what I'm wondering though. If he maybe has heard some rumors. Here, I'm gonna go up to him. Nicholas, it's Tergar, the Wanderer. You may remember me from the boat that we traveled on. I don't know. Was that days ago?
Mere days ago, yes. He says, "Oh yes,
Look,
you're a friend of Norman's, yes, yeah."
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. But look, I'm not good with the niceties and stuff. But this town, there's something just seems off about this town, and it's not like the last one we were in where it seemed corrupt from inside. But just it seems like there's a lot happening here that we're not quite putting our finger on. Have you gotten that sense?
Well, it was on the front lines of the war with the hold of the Sea Princes. I'm not surprised that there's a level of attention here. But sorry, I should be doing it in a much different accent. But really, it's really impressive how they've come along. Although, they've really bounced back. It seems to me everybody's real happy and out on the bay fishing like a storm. I guess maybe things are a bit tense here. I'd say it was probably because of the war that was happening recently. Yeah.
No,
I like that accent.
You haven't heard any rumors about any evil forces that are maybe trying to still break that uneasy truce?
You hear lots of rumors. Maybe there's something happening, but nothing specific. Oh, did I hear anything lately? Let's see if I heard anything lately. Got a whole table full of rumors I can look up. Yeah, let's roll a rumor. See what happens. It says, I heard.
Oh, cute.
Look at that. I got great die rolls. You didn't see it because it's just to me. But it says, I've heard a lot about red cloaks. I gather it's a real faux pas if you wear a red cloak around here. And if you see someone on the docks wearing a red cloak after dark, if you slip them a copper piece, they'll connect you with some smugglers who can sell you anything you've dreamed of. I mean, that sounds like a pretty tall tale. But
is he literally talking about the smugglers that we're trying to catch right now? And he didn't think to bring that rumor up when we were talking about smugglers.
Well, there are smugglers.
He hadn't rolled for that information yet.
Hadn't rolled for it. It had just occurred to him.
Oh,
no,
okay.
You get the feeling these are different smugglers. Yeah, not your smugglers.
I don't remember the ones that we killed having red coats.
No, they certainly did not have red coats.
Yeah, this is different. Well, look, Nicholas says, it was good talking to you, I guess. If I see you in the taverns, I'll be sure to buy you a pint of ale.
Well, that's very generous of you. Now, listen, I get that you're here on some kind of business, and they're all upset about these smugglers and not. But I gotta say, like we have a schedule to keep with our exhibition. And do you know anything about when the king will arrive? I've heard he's coming this way, and that's very, kind of important to our mission here.
I don't know. Does anyone know when the king's arriving?
I'm not sure I knew there was a king.
Yeah, what king are you talking about there again?
All that we know is he's on his way and that Cronin is accompanying him.
That is true. That is correct. You do know that. That would be King Scotty. Why can I never have my notes where I need them to be? So yeah, King Scotty is the king of
pissed that he lost in a war.
Yeah. Well, they made a peace. So whether you won or lost, it's a matter of opinion. But the province that you're in, which is called Stalinor, is ruled by a viscount who's named Cronin Seekenborg. And apparently they are all on their way here because King Scody likes to do a bit of a walkabout. And since he's coming into Salamore, obviously he's got to be attended by his Viscounts and Counts and Barons and all the rest of them. So he's on his way. That's all you know.
Is he on his way by land or by sea?
By land. He is formerly a ranger, and so he has a great affinity with the land. It's common knowledge.
So Cronin is like
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
So
like,
Jordan, it's because it's common knowledge, and you are uncommon. So
Okay.
that's why you didn't know.
So Cronin is like a lower level aristocrat who serves under King Scody,
Yes.
right? And King Scody is the ruler of Saltmarsh.
Well, sort of
By
by
proxy.
association, yeah. He rules the country of Keoland, this very large country that you are
Right.
currently
So he's
in,
not
and-
considered an enemy diplomat. Like this is not an
Oh, no.
emissary coming from a. Do
Nope.
we know the names of the leading lords of the enemy nations threatening Saltmarsh?
No. I mean, if it came up, you forgot. I'm just going to say it like that. But it probably is the kind of thing that would be tavern gossip or high tavern gossip. The Sea Princes to the south, they're kind of a roving band. Like there's always a new one coming up. So the reason that they had a war at all was because there was an especially powerful sea prince who decided to wage war and raid the coast, and Scody had to respond. But that
And are
That
these
is
sea
now-
lords kind of like aristocratic pirates?
yes, they think a lot of themselves. Yeah. Any other questions or anything you would else like to do in this?
I'd like to talk to Kaladek.
And I think
Okay.
we were promised refreshments.
So
Yeah.
refreshments have been brought in. It's an assortment of alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages and some light snacks.
What's that tea thing that we used to lug around?
The samovar.
Is there a samovar here?
I wager there would be a samovar here.
Oh, I'd like to have some
100%.
tea from a samovar, please.
Look at that. It's just your style. Actually, it's pretty gaudy. It's middling workmanship. Clearly a government piece, but it'll do the job.
Excellent. Can I a quick conference with the fam here? Anyone want to come with me over to talk to Kaladek?
Yeah, I'm in.
Nima, I'm
You're
afraid you're muted.
You're still muted.
Just don't trust myself. Yes, all right, let's go.
Okay.
Will we all come, or is it now just
Yeah,
Tara and I
no,
are gonna
let's-
sit on this side? Okay, I'll come.
Or why don't Glonda and I go and talk to Epstiliar Runil?
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Okay.
Why don't we go talk to him
Okay, for why? Okay,
just to see what he's all about?
okay,
I don't know. I'm just
okay.
thinking he's there. We should talk to him.
Okay, we'll go ask him questions.
But unless you
We'll
go,
get-
you go where you
No,
want.
no, you know what? There's no better duo than Tergar and Glonda. Let's do this.
So Kaladek cuts an imposing figure. He's at least 7 feet tall. He wears flowing burgundy robes and an elaborate headdress as well. One of his eyes looks like it's made of glass. Yeah, he's pretty impressive figure. Right now he is standing with a cup of tea and he's just sort of mincing it, waiting his time. And he eyes you as you approach.
Mr. Kaladek,
Indeed, it is I. And you are?
my name is Jojandron. I'm here with my friends.
Oh, you'd like me to introduce myself?
Good Norman.
Very rarely have to introduce myself.
This is Nimeralian.
Awkward.
She's a big deal where she comes from, so forgive her behavior.
Yes, the wizard, I understand.
Yes.
Well, you did say inside that you were interested in magic spells.
Oh, you're just a very good listener, I see.
Yes, no magic required here.
Mr. Kaladek, we don't mean to flatter you, but you seem to have a very wise, sort of aura about you that you're very knowledgeable of the area and maybe know quite a lot more than most do.
Well, you may not mean to flatter, but I accept your praise with thanks. I have been here for many years. I came on an errand that has since finished, and now I bide my time. Perhaps I will leave for foreign climes, a different adventure, but for now, Saltmarsh is entertaining and interesting to me. You have had some interesting entertainments yourself, I gather.
We have. What do you make of the situation with the smugglers in the basement?
Smugglers in Saltmarsh is like mice in the plains. There will always be such. And here in Saltmarsh, it is a hive of scum and villainy, as I have heard told in other canon.
I think that's in another movie.
Yes, over the hill, just over there, yes.
Why would you stay in such a place if you speak so lowly of it?
I've grown accustomed to its various diversions, for one may find very interesting things here, and I'm a student of interesting things.
Oh, a student?
Oh, yes, are we not all students?
No.
No. Well, then I guess you have graduated.
Oh, I'm not speaking of of myself. I'm a lifelong learner.
Tea comes out.
Keladag.
You said you were searching for spells, Millie. Is that true?
Yes, I'm just itching to get I believe Fireball. An excellent third level wizarding spell.
Most devastating spell it is.
Yes.
If I were to be able to procure such a thing for you, perhaps that is possible. It may be that you could do me a small service in return.
She curtsies and stumbles a little bit, and then on her way up from the curtsy, do tell! I have a lot of money, as I previously stated.
He sort of gives his hand a waggle and says, I have no interest in money. I have accumulated much in my many years. Money is not as interesting to me, but other interesting items, those I find very interesting. If you were to come across any that were interesting but not of great value to you, I'm sure we could arrange a bit of a trade.
Well, I used to have a book of excellent erotica, but I'm afraid I've given that away to a criminal, a murderer, actually. I
think that
do
was
happen
a
to have
wise
a
bargain.
Oh. I suppose. But I can recite it entirely by memory. Just try any page. Maybe not here and now, but...
Page 55, please.
The throbbing, flagang... well, maybe not now. Sorry. Anybody have anything fun? Let's see. I gotta keep my brass brazier. I use that to make my bat. I want to be invisible. I do have a book with some unknown languages. Nope. All right. A treaty about Ios. Interest you at all? No.
Well, it wouldn't interest me, but it might interest Zendros, who is from that blasted land, here negotiating on behalf of it. You may find her on the lower side. Maybe she has something for you. I gather that she dallies in magical items.
Who? Sorry, you simply just were there, and then you ceased to be there, and then you were there again.
Sounds very awful. Yes, Zendros.
Oh.
The chief quartermaster of Ios is here in Saltmarsh, negotiating foodstuffs for that blasted land. You would know that half of the realm north of Keeland has been engaged in a long and brutal war with Ios, who is kind of an evil demigod. He's a bad dude, and he subjugated a lot of that territory until they also came to a peace, probably about 5 years ago. So now Keeland made peace with those people and said, you guys have your fight, we're out of it. So that's why they're content to trade with Ios at all.
So he thinks that we could give her the Treaty of Ios and I could get a spell? I'm sorry. Was that what you said?
He's not interested, but he thinks that maybe Zendros might be interested. because it has to do with Ayaz, and he's not interested in that at all.
So we still don't have anything interesting to give to Mr. Kaladek.
So far, I would say.
What was the name of that demigod?
Ayaz, I-U-Z. Sorry, I'm guessing your Wi-Fi or my connection was breaking for you, Brooke, and you didn't get everything I said?
Yep.
Okay, so he's not interested in the treaty about Ayaz, but Zendros might be because she's from there. She might know him, kind of thing.
Okay,
So-
but she wouldn't have a fireball for me.
He says that she dabbles in magical items.
Okay.
So
I'm just taking the notes.
She
And you
again
said
and
that
stumbles.
that treaty was unsteady with Ios.
So yeah, they have come to a truce, but it didn't involve Keelan. Keelan made its own peace years ago, but then there were countries north of Keelan that were fighting with Ayaz, and that has ended very recently.
Oh, so Keelan's been at peace with Ios
Yep.
for a while. Okay.
Yeah, and they're the kind of country that takes a lot and don't produce a lot. So if they've had a lot of gold and need to buy food, then maybe Saltmarsh is a good place to get it, even though it's a long trek to get it back to Ayaz. Chair recognizes Jordan.
I have a question for Mr. Kaladek.
Yes.
Mr. Kaladek, I am a half-elf. Nima is a full elf. And my half-brother Terragar is a half-elf. The same half as me.
Complicated, but I think I follow you, yes.
When we walk over Shark Fin Bridge, we get sick. What can you tell us about the bridge and how we can... We're going to be here for 6 months, perhaps. At least 2 weeks. We don't want to have to upchuck every time we cross over the bridge. Any way you can help out with that?
Well, I have no cure for you. I do know of a story about that bridge. It is said that an elf was killed upon that bridge, a lover's quarrel of some kind. And as she fell, she cursed those that were here. So it may be in some connection to that curse. It could be a tall tale. So unquestionably, magic does emanate from it.
Are you suggesting that we should somehow go back in time and prevent that lover's quarrel from occurring?
That is an intriguing notion, the notion of time travel. It is not one with which I am familiar, but if there would be some way to find the spirit in that bridge and convince it to move on or eradicate it in some way, I suppose that could be a method.
Have you ever tried to do
Interesting
such a...
prospect.
You've never tried to do such a thing yourself with all your great wizarding powers?
It is not in my talents to do. It is not in my skill set, if you would say.
Hey, gang.
Thank you.
Doesn't one of us in our skill set have that ability to negate magic?
Oh, well, that would just stop a spell. I wonder if it would stop a curse.
I actually do, but I haven't prepared it, so that could be something.
I don't.
You can reverse a curse?
Well, I have a dispel magic.
Yeah, that's a 3rd level. I've got that as well, but we could try it.
I mean, I'm fine crossing the bridge, so I don't really care.
You're only 50% fine. No, wait, you're totally fine. Never mind. I'm wrong.
Yeah, Gnor and I.
Yeah.
We can run back and forth like it's nobody's business.
But that is something
I have one last question for Mr. Kaladek.
Please. I find
Related
it
on the
most
theme,
interesting.
and Mr. Kaladek, since you're such an expert in magic and wizardry and have such a fine depth of knowledge of Salt and Marsh, are there any other strange magic going around right now that has made you feel a little nervous or concerned?
That is the most interesting question. Yes, from time to time, the mists grow heavy, and there have been tales of monsters from the sea coming up and attacking those of us on the land. We are most safe on the bluff. I do not fear it myself, but I have heard tales among the watch that they regularly battle with sea dwellers. There are many intelligent races within the sea. It is most interesting.
You live on the bluff?
I live on the bluff. I think I have heard tell that you have just moved in down the road from my lodgings.
That's right. We're at Anatolia's house.
Ah, Anatolia. She is an entertaining woman.
Is she there?
No, I understand she's had to return to Gradsul to deal with
Well.
some family matters.
Hopefully she can entertain them.
I understand it was quite a family tragedy, so I don't know if there's much in the way of entertaining
I
going
see.
on. But yes, your sentiments are certainly valid, yes.
Well, thank you for your time.
Indeed.
And I very much like your red headdress.
Oh, yes, thank you. Although I gather red is not quite the color of this town. They
No,
do not
we've
appreciate
heard-
it as much.
No, we've heard recently it's not a good color here.
It is rumors of the Scarlet Brotherhood, you understand.
Yes.
Just rumors, obviously, but this is what happens in a small town. You can't control people's fears and emotions. They will be subject to their own prattling.
Sometimes you can give them all the facts in the world and they'll still completely ignore the truth and instead believe in some strange conspiracy.
It is so true.
Mhm.
And meanwhile, we get the looks when we wear the color red. It is most unfortunate.
Well, I think you're brave, sir.
I am not afraid. Ebstelar has been listening to all of this and says, "You know, Lord Keladek, I am no lord, sir." "Ah, yes, as you wish. Neither am I. But I have plenty of fabrics that could fashion out of a perhaps nice blue that could... I'm sure a tailor could turn into such marvelous garments for you that would not cause quite the furor." Keladek's, "Well, actually, enjoy a bit of the furor, I must say." Anything else you want to raise before we get to the town council's results? Or
Well,
Glonda.
Terragar and Glonda were talking to.
oh my goodness!
Epstelar
Epstelar.
Runear.
Yes,
So then their conversation has to, Andrew, you have to tie this in so that their conversation ends with Epstelar overhearing the talk about the headdress.
true. We can make it happen. I am convinced. So
Unmute your
Ebstelar
mic,
is good.
Glonda. Unmute your mic.
What? Okay, what up?
We're talking to Epstelar now.
I know, I get it. I'm here.
When did you go back to being a teenager? I love it.
What?
So Ebstelar is going through the hors d'oeuvres like they're going out of style. He's enjoying them muchly.
Good snacks, huh?
Yes, they're marvelous.
What's
Doesn't offer you any.
What's your favorite?
Oh, these quail stuffed duck's eggs are marvelous.
Quail stuffed duck's eggs? Sounds
Yes.
pretty gross.
So, you from around here?
Oh, yes, I have lived in Salt Marsh for... My family's been here many generations. We have always been merchants, always carried the best of goods, made great profits.
It must be tough working in a town like this with so much smuggling and stealing going on all the time, though.
Crime has always been a factor. It's always part of the bottom line. You learn.
Have I ever met Epstelar in my previous bouts in Saltmarsh?
You would have heard the name. You probably never wandered in the same social circles.
Is there anything I know about him?
I think we got a history skill. I like the idea of you rolling it.
History skill is
Yeah.
my stone cutting.
Is he related to stone cutting in any way? Not a thing.
No!
Oh, my
Andrew!
lord.
I don't trust you.
I don't trust this system.
Alright, I don't
no,
know him.
You don't know anything
The one.
about him other than he's probably
Oh,
state
full on
rich.
one.
You're just testing it to see if it works, right, Dan? That's what I got. Yeah. Look at that. You rolled a 16. Totally valid.
You rolled for me.
Yeah, you didn't. You haven't overheard anything about this guy.
Okay, then I'm looking at him and I go, I don't think I know much about you. What kind of merchant are you?
Epstelar, what do you know of Lady Tulliver?
All right, we'll talk about Tergar's girl.
Well, he's sort of doing the shotgun between the two things, and he says, well, let's see. For your question, we trade in many fine items, most recently fine textiles, and we have many great foodstuffs coming up and down the coast. There is a stiff trade in ore. The dwarves are producing silver at a propitious rate. It has to be transported up back into the heartland to be mined into coins, or pressed into coins. There is some precious gems that wander through. Several things are plucked from the seas. It is a very prosperous area. If one is so inclined, it could make quite a bit of coin.
Perhaps we'll have to use your services later.
Oh, indeed, if ever there is anything you wish to ship, or if you have a selection of goods that you wish to traffic in, if I do not know how it can be sold, I can help you with one of our many guild members that would be happy to sell it for you. Less a small commission.
Now Tergar's question.
And
Sorry,
yes,
I have to apologize.
I'll-
Out of character, I missed that second part of the question, so I feel like a douchebag.
It says, Lady Tolliver. Well, I only know her by her reputation. I do not generally deign to dabble with town council affairs insomuch as they pertain to the trade of the city, but I understand she is a capable druidess. Her charge is the Oak Island, which I have never set foot upon for fear of various fairies and goblins that I'm sure happen upon its soil. They tend to that land, and I should leave them to it. I think you would get along. She is also a woman of few words.
Well, yeah, I just, I'm just not that I'm interested in her. I just noticed some things, and anyway, I just enough about me.
You're making my dude nervous.
I'm not.
He's just because he's dreaming about women.
I'm not dreaming about anybody. Forget it. Just drop it. So, what's the local? Got a lot of plants around here. Any interesting wildlife?
I like your red hat.
Yes, at this point, you are saved your conversational awkwardness as you overhear Nim talking about red, and so does Ebstelar, who turns and comments on the blue fabric. And it's within short order that the doors are opened, and you can see the town members milling about inside. There's one of the functionaries inside gives you a bit of a wave, like, come back inside. So fast forward.
I just wanted to, I guess, like, what is Arcana specifically for when you do an Arcana roll?
So that would be to learn things that are related to magic. So if it was, if somebody was casting a spell and you didn't know what it was, you could roll Arcana to see what the spell was. If it was a piece of magic item, maybe you know something about it.
Okay.
It could be also used to look at a scroll and determine what kind of scroll it was, that kind of thing.
Okay, because I'm just thinking of like, Nim now knows that the lady knows that Nim is, like, obviously, she knows more than so she just, like, as she walks in, she just wants to see if she catches anything about this woman, anything that she can, like, tell from her. But I don't know what might be the best approach to do.
You could roll perception, I suppose.
Okay.
Maybe it won't be a 1. Let's see what happens. That is totally not a 1.
23.
So you get that she looks a little bit distrustfully towards you. More than that, she's well dressed. For all this talk of her living on Oak Island, you would maybe think that she's more rustic in her apparel, but either she's dressed up for the occasion or she always dresses like this, but you detect no trace that her clothing is damaged in any way, or that she's wearing clothing that's sort of better for a more rustic environment. Anything more?
Is she specifically distrusting of Nim or the group?
You get that she's more distrusting of you.
We're talking about Lady Tolliver here, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
But you do also note that she's looking at Jojandron with interest.
Oh God.
So she casts eyes like at
Oh,
you as you come
no.
in, and then looks back over at Jojandron, sort of giving him the once over.
Am I flaunting my Alona garb right now? Like, do I have any visible religious stuff?
Are you?
happening? Yeah, it's a good question. Am I?
Well, only you can answer that.
I think
Norman?
you get to answer that
I
question.
have a.
Norman, do you know?
I've.
True.
I have my holy symbol.
Yeah, which is a pendant, so
Okay.
maybe it's something you wear.
I have a question.
Yeah,
How old does Lady Tolliver look?
that is excellent.
I bet she's
PJ
approximately the same age as Tergar and Jojandra.
PJ suggests you should show her the key to the city.
Yeah.
That's probably going to make a huge impression.
Mhm.
She looks
That's
like
what
she's
they
in
all
her,
say.
she's human. She looks in her early 40s for that level of life.
Okay. How old are Jojon and Tergar?
Mid-30s, I think we said.
Okay. I'm just making sure she's not motherly age. That was my concern. Go on with your bad selves.
Maybe before we go into the exciting next bit of business, is it a good time to take our break? We're at 8:30.
Yes,
yeah.
I am empty on the chalice of wine. So,
Let us make that happen.
all right.
Sweet. So we'll take 5 and we'll be back in 5.
Sweet. Oh, look at you. in with a fan-made... Oh, Jordan, you missed your bit. Oh, no. Thanks to Matt for this amazing die 20, which was inspired by Jojandron's rock collection.
That's amazing.
Those are all sorts of rocks.
That's great.
How did he get it equally weighted?
I don't know whether it is equally weighted at all.
Oh, that's fair.
Conversation.
Yeah, it's on the 20.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, rolled a 1. I don't know. There we go. That's right. Now I gotta roll it now. All right, so we're back, and everybody ushers themselves back into the council chambers. After a brief to-do, Lord Timertico says the city would be after a vote, we decided the city would be well indebted to you if you were to take on the charge of tracking down this sea ghost and her smuggling pirates and put a stop to their activities.
Sea ghost.
Matt says they're actually just candy rocks. Density's pretty close to resin, so the weight should be fine. Glad everybody is not worried.
And if you get hungry, there's a snack.
That's right. Just break open the die. The council has authorized that we could recompense you to the tune of 300 gold pieces if we were to accomplish.
Yeah, each.
The town council is not as wealthy as one would like, so I'm afraid the most we can come up with at this point is 300.
Well, that's very generous, and we respectfully decline. Just kidding. That's terrific.
I mean, this is just a little aside though. Like, we are just like swimming in money. I remember on our way here, you tried to be like, all right, everybody has a trip and you all have to spend money on the trip so you could like bring us down. But like, I have like 350 gold, 22 platinum. Like, Nim doesn't really need money. Can they give us anything else aside from money? Like anything cool, any access to cool things?
Fireballs.
Bacon.
Yeah, can they give me fireball spell, please?
A bottomless wine goblet.
Yeah. No, their trade is money. That's kind of what they work with. So whether you can turn that money into other stuff, that is.
What's the name of your
What
ship?
good is money
Longa?
in turning into other stuff? How can we use money to get things? I don't understand.
There's only some way.
Money is just for having.
It's true. It's for aligning a dragon horde. It's for gilding your nest.
Well, group huddle.
Wanda, what's the name of your ship?
The wyvern.
Okay. And they want us hunting down the sea
ghost.
Oh, right. Okay, right.
Norman, what do you think? Should we take it?
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
I didn't know you had a stutter.
Isn't Sea Ghost was like an Adult Swim cartoon, wasn't it?
Space Ghost.
Believe so.
Coast to coast.
Yeah, he's not afraid of it because it begins with a G. Norms aren't afraid of any kind of G.
No, not goats, not ghosts, not
monsters.
Not gamonsters.
No monsters.
Wait, what are we being asked to do?
Hunt down the sea ghost for 300 gold.
What did the Sea Ghost do to us?
It's the smuggling ship.
Oh, the smuggling ship, right? Of course.
Sandlot or Sand Ballot, sorry, was
Sand Nutcracker.
maybe a part of that gang.
I see. I thought this was
But
an
how are we
actual
supposed to
sea ghost.
find the sea ghost?
We have a clue. We have a tip that they maybe were at an island southeast of our location. So we do have a
We can
place
tell
where
them that
go.
we can like maybe put it on our list of things to do. But wait, do we have any other things that we need to be doing right
Well, that might also lead us to the wyvern.
I'm in. Though I really want Fireball, man. Can we go to what's her face, the quartermaster, before we go?
Like Fireball whiskey.
Oh wait, maybe not the sea ghost was in that island. That was the wyvern, I think, that was southeast on an island. Right? Dungeon Master?
You had gotten information from the Black Skull. in our previous session that suggested that Jack had done some trade runs to Monmouth and Baymouth.
I'm just thinking that the two might be connected.
Well, they are both ships, so there's a strong possibility.
All ships know each other.
That's true.
Yeah. They all come from the same.
Does everybody have a drink with them?
Probably had your refreshments.
No, I mean
You
actually.
mean in real life?
Yes.
In real life, yes.
All right.
I finished
A
mine.
toast to ships.
Okay.
There are good ships, there are great ships, there are ships that sail the sea, but the best ships are friendships, and that's the way it always shall be.
Yeah.
Oh,
Arr.
that's
I feel like you wrote that in a card for me many years ago.
I think I did.
The tamest
Yeah.
erotic poetry I've ever heard.
Throbbing ships.
Slick down ships.
So did we take them up on their offer?
Yeah,
No, we've just been standing awkwardly in front of them for about
we do a
10
little
minutes.
cheers. And
Talking
then
about
just
money.
stop.
Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So with your approbation, they all mutter amongst themselves, and Lord Timertikos clacks the gavel and says, "I hereby dismiss this meeting." At which point, Nicholas pipes up and says, my lords, my ladies, I had an issue to bring before." Yes, Mr. Nicholas, I'm afraid that our time is short for today, and we will reconvene at a later date to hear your petition.
Good Nicholas.
Oh, hold on, before you leave, we have no ship to do the searching. Can you not give us commission of a ship while ours is being repaired?
Yeah, like the whole
Yes.
reason why we're accepting this is because we're waiting for a ship to get repaired. So can you give us a ship?
Like just a loaner. Just some sort
loaner.
of like enterprise
And
rent a
at
ship.
this
We're
point,
getting Moloch to
Timertikos
hurry his ass up.
turns to Lord Lasseter and says, "Yes, I believe a ship is indeed a vital part of this mission. Would you not agree, Lord Lasseter?" And Lord Lasseter is fuming at this and says, "Yes, I see the need. I imagine something could be pressed into service to put at this party's disposal. If it were absolutely... Oh, yes, it is absolutely required, Lord Lasseter, and I believe that the council has spoken on this matter." He sort of throws daggers at you all and says, "Something shall be arranged." With that, he storms out of the room. And they all get away from their desks and start stretching, and a few mutter to themselves. And you get a sense that, things are breaking up, but they're still around if you wanted to talk to them.
Well, I'm going to approach Lady Tolliver if I can.
Okay. You are going to go to Lady Tolliver. Anybody going to anywhere else? Want to talk to anybody else? Do any other thing?
Nim will be within earshot of Tergar going over to Lady Tolliver because she's suspicious of her.
I'm going to say to Tergar, "Hey, need a wingman? I'd be glad to
No.
help you out in a non."
No.
No, I think it's really important.
No.
I'll
no.
be able to. It's.
This is
Okay.
druid to druid talk.
Okay.
I see.
Al, what's Norman doing?
Are there any snacks left?
The snacks have been wiped clean by Ebstelar Renale, who is licking his fingertips after he's polished off that last plate.
Just gonna
I'm going to go.
give him the eye.
I'm going to go try to impress Lord Timertikos.
Sorry. Wait, actually, Nim would know this because you had Petrie flying around in the theater that night. Lord Timertikos is the bearded figure that you saw in the one box.
Yeah, and he was kind of... He wasn't the one that stared forever at him and knew... He was just... Because we had that shadowy figure that clearly was like, I clearly know what's up and I don't like you. So the bat flew away. But he was just one that was like, hey, I'm a mayor and I'm watching theater, right?
Yep, exactly. Okay, just making sure you made that connect. Okay, so...
I didn't, so thank you very much.
Oh, alrighty. So sorry, Norman is looking at an empty plate and pondering, or is he...
Oh man, Norman's just along for the ride right now. He's trying to tag along with Tergar, and Tergar just keeps like, just go, druids. But
Gotcha.
yeah. So I'm I'm
and-
listening. I'm just trying to get any juicy gossip I can just around, but not generally focused on any one thing.
Cool. Christine, what is Glonda doing?
Glenda had to step away for a second, so I don't know what's happening.
Nope, it's all good. The Lassiter has stormed off, but everybody else is still milling about, collecting themselves, having that general little hubbub before they break off and do the next thing in their days. So if
Okay,
you wanted to talk to anybody, they're there.
I'm just gonna go up to Nima and I'm gonna say we gotta go to the old flounder pounder tonight to see if Scarface is there.
Yes, but it smells awful.
Doesn't matter.
All right,
Doesn't
Rhonda.
matter.
All right.
All right.
All right, you guys are trading stares. Tolliver is talking to Anders Solmore when Tergar and Norman and Nima approach. I'm guessing that Tergar is doing the approaching and Norman and Nima are sort of lagging behind, or are you all sort of chatting for position?
I think Nima is actually chatting with Glonda doing the stairs, so she's going to be oblivious to what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Norman is just sidekicking.
Gotcha. So as you approach, Solmar and Tolliver break up their conversation and look over to you.
And Lady Tolliver, may I have a moment of your time, please?
Oh, you're going to want a moment with this guy, let me tell you.
Stop it, Norman.
It only takes one moment.
Enough. Sorry.
And Tolliver says, yes, if you wish. Solmar?
So I pull Lady Tolliver off to the side, and at this point, in my Druidic language, I formally greet her.
And Norman says, "What's that? What'd you say? What's that?"
Oh, Norman, you little stinker!
And I kick out with my back boot and just sort of push you away. Yeah.
Nima and I recognize this, and we turn to Norman and we start making these faces.
Tolliver answers in the Druidic language, greeting you formally and respectfully, and her countenance changes a little bit as you greet her in this language. And she responds in essentially, well met, friend. Your presence honors us here in Solmar.
Well, it's always nice to see a fellow druid, and I understand that you reside on Oak Island. I would perhaps like to visit you on Oak Island to be once again with my own people.
She says, nothing would bring us greater joy. I reside there with 4 other acolytes of the order. We tend to the spirits and fairies of that small land.
What circle are you a part of?
Dan.
It's a forward question.
Stump in the DM. Inspiration.
She says, I am of the Circle of Dreams.
Ah, what do you make of dreams and their ability to, I don't know, send messages?
Oh, dreams are very powerful indeed. They bring us guidance from the future, from the past, from relatives long gone. I put great stock in dreams myself.
That doesn't surprise me to hear you say that, Lyra. And as he says this, he makes very certain that they have eye contact as he says her first name.
And she looks at you like trying to interpret your baleful stare, and she says, well, indeed. Yes. She's not really getting it, though. You sense confusion behind those eyes.
I'm sorry. I'm at a bit of a loss here, and that's not normal for me, but I've seen you before, Lyra. You've come to me in my dreams.
And she's flummoxed. She's like, this is very strange. I have no powers in this way. I cannot implant myself into others' dreams, it would be very rude to do so. You say you have seen me in your dreams. This is surely you are thinking of someone else.
Yes, and you compelled me to come here to help you.
Tergar, is it?
Yes, Tergar the Wanderer.
The Wanderer, yes. This is
Done things.
This is very strange indeed.
Transformed
Perhaps
into
you
a
should
brown
come-
bear, right?
I made friends with a brown bear.
We
So
did.
perhaps you
What a
should-
good time.
Perhaps you should come with us back to Oak Island, and there may be more answers that can be gleaned there.
I would love that, Lady Lyra.
Hey, we were friends with an
Okay.
elephant too. Is that useful? No. Okay.
Are we friends with it,
elephant.
or did we just summon it?
And with that, Andrew, I make a sort of an awkward departure from her, and with a promise that I will visit her on the island in the coming days.
She is looking at you strangely, like there's something about this guy that says I'm in his dreams. That's kind of strange. Is this some kind of advanced pickup line? I don't know. It's strange, but all right, go with it. She's on the fence about you. Okay, so meanwhile, Jordan over there with Lord Timotikos. Were you going on yourself, or was Glenda coming with you? I can't remember.
It was just me, but we were just shooting the shit.
Yeah. Okay. So you get he is an aristocrat. You catch all the signs. Like he is definitely he comes from money, always came from money, knows money, has no interest or knowledge of the lower classes.
And I'm just trying to match his energy. Whenever he says, I was like, yeah, me too, totally.
Yes. I hate poor people too.
You know what the problem with poor people is? They don't have any money. I would like you to roll your performance for me, please.
That's perfect.
Cute.
Okay, just gonna roll a public D20.
Yes.
Oh!
Such a good
You hit him
performer.
with your great sword. You nailed him with your
With
great
a
sword.
+4, so that's 23.
So he takes an instant shine to you. He's in short order. He's come around the desk and he is, giving you the old arm clap and making sort of boomer style generational jokes. And not a few minutes go by before he says, "Joe John Geron, I wish my sons were more like you. They are just layabouts and do not do anything with your lives. And here you are, living your life in great service to our town. You don't even know us. You honor us, sir, with your presence." Is that a
You
cheer?
honor me with your presence, sir.
Well, if there is anything that the town or I personally can do to aid you in your quest, you need only come visit me in our mansion, if I am not here in the council hall.
Well, we'd love to have you in our mansion as well, whenever you feel like it.
He says, "Oh, well, that sounds like a spectacular affair. I'm sure something elegant could be arranged. Who hasn't had a good dinner party in ages? With
And-
new people."
Bring your big tea thing.
Oh, no, I wouldn't dream of bringing that samovar. We'll bring the nice samovar.
Terrific.
All right, so anybody else want to do any other thing? I mean,
I think Nim does want to address the tension that she had with Lady. So I feel like when Lady finishes her conversation with Tergar and Tergar walks away, I think Nim would like to approach her.
Okay. So she's on her way out when you sidle up or get in her way or whatever. And she pulls up short and sort of, again, sizes you up and says, "Nimeralian, is it not?"
It is, my lady, and I would like to both apologize and give you a subtle nod of appreciation for recognizing my poor taste in attempting to listen to the council discussions using my elegant Petrie here, who's like crawled back into her robe and kind of is like gives her like a shrug and a nod and come back under the robe. Your perception is quite impressive.
Okay. Let's have you roll persuasion. I want to see how this goes.
What am I persuading her of?
You're just generally being flattering and trying to get her over to your.
Oh, okay. Because I'm
good
just
side.
being honest. She's not.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. It's
All
just
right.
generally
Let's see how socially adept Nim
I love it.
is.
It's not terrible.
Okay, so 13 plus 2, so a 14. No, a 15.
14,
Pardon me. That's
15,
math.
yeah. Okay, you get that she's somewhat mollified by your apology.
I don't know what that word means.
You smooth out the rough edges.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you
So
for
she-
mollifying that for me. No? Okay, I'll still work
Yep.
on it.
It's good. I like it. So yeah, you get that she gives you, after thinking it over and looking you over and maybe sort of seeking into you for some signs of malice, maybe not finding anything that she doesn't like, she says, well, I suppose we all have lapses in judgment, and you are a stranger here. I accept your apology and trust that in the future you will respect the privacy of the council when it enters its deliberations.
Yes, and I do hope that you also respect the privacy of the minds of all of my comrades. Do not penetrate them with any of your magic, just in case you were thinking of doing so.
She looks awestruck and taken aback, like, what are you talking about? Is this about Turgar and his dream?
Yes, it is. I'm quite concerned. I am a wizard of divination, you see, and I do believe that dreams have divination powers and that they do bring forth premonitions of the future. And so I must admit
she
I'm...
barrels into you as you start, verbally, as you start sort of going into divination, says, you think I would invade the private dreams of a fellow druid?
Not on purpose.
And if you think there was goodwill before, it seems to have just melted away as she takes everything you said exactly the wrong way.
Cool.
And turns on her heel and leaves.
Good day to you.
Good day to you, madam.
Oh. No, okay.
No, she doesn't even say that.
No.
Cool. So everybody filters out. Actually, no, that's not true. Lady Avessa is still there, and she watches this exchange and comes up to you afterwards. So she's older, in her 70s, also a human woman. She's wearing very well laundered white robes. Like somebody spent a lot of time making sure
Very
that
clean.
this thing was white. Yeah, very clean.
Super, great hygiene.
Yeah, wherever they are.
She has.
I mean, you
Any
know that they are.
any wrinkles have been mollified.
They have definitely been mollified. Yeah.
I like her face.
Yeah. Well, yeah, sure. So she comes over to you and says, don't worry about her, dear. She's a prickly one sometimes.
Well, thank you very kindly, Lady Ivessa. I did not mean to intrude on her goodwill, but I seem to have done so.
Sometimes some people are just ready to be offended, you know?
Oh? You think that is true of Lady Tolliver?
Well, she has been distracted of late. Could be anything, I suppose.
You're very good at your insight on one's feelings. I'm impressed. I'm completely inept.
It is a skill like anything else. You can read people like you can read a book.
Oh, perhaps there is a spell for that.
You mentioned being interested in spells, and I even hesitate to bring it, but that awful eyesore to the north of the city, if you wish to find something, you would best seek it out there. That ostentatious lump of a place, the Temple of Bakub, they would have what you seek.
Yes, my DM has mentioned that many a time, and I do appreciate the reminder that is probably where I should go to seek my magic. Thank you kindly, Lady Ivessa, for reminding me of that.
I would tear down the place myself, but only because of its gaudiness. Honestly, if they could make it a bit more understated, I'd be fine, but with its
Well, I know, right?
flashiness.
Why are we all donating to make them all big and special? Aren't we supposed to be putting money back into the community? I hear you.
If only it were that simple. There were no donations. It was completely privately built by that person whose name I can't even remember.
Nor can I, Lady Ivessa. Nor can I.
By that... There's just too many NPCs to keep track of. By that Emrat Rastanor.
Yes, the Emrat Rastinor. Emrat Rastinor made the temple of Baladar.
Nope.
Okay.
But nice try.
Well,
All right. With that, everybody leaves the council chambers, and you get various nods of appreciation from people as they leave. Nicholas looks a little downtrodden as he sort of picks up his satchel and marches out, head held low.
Oh shit, Nicholas! I forgot he was there.
Good, Nick.
Ought we ask him what he was going to say? That was so important to him.
Yeah, hey buddy.
Too bad you all forgot about him. He slunk away.
Oh,
Oops.
Oh no. Oh.
it's too late.
Ah.
Oh,
God
damn it.
Wait, Jordan, can you use your locate thing to know where he went?
I think I had to have identified him as a favorite object.
Oh, okay, like his hat or something, for example, right?
Precisely.
Okay.
And I don't have it prepared.
Okay.
And
All the things.
that's not how it works. But
Okay, that's fair.
All right. So, what would you like to do with yourselves now? It's probably early afternoon. You're not hungry or thirsty because you had a nice refreshment.
I would like
Friends
to
with the
use
fire.
my zone of truth and go up to random strangers on the street and ask them extremely embarrassing questions
Jesus.
about
That's
their
good.
personal lives.
My
Wow,
interest lies in going to the Temple North or seeing if we can come up with that cool elf who's dead at the bridge. Both of those things sound cool.
I guess.
Yes, I'd like to fix that elf issue too before we
Andrew-
leave. at
I'm
least.
just waiting till it's time to go to the pound or flounder.
Yeah, same. It's like we got to bide our time
Andrew, it's
anyway.
too late for me to change what my prepared spells are.
I'm not too worried about it. If you want to change one of those, sure.
Well, I could change Water Walk to Dispel Magic, and I could accompany these guys to the bridge to see if my casting that will.
I have Dispel Magic
Oh, you do?
prepared, so if you did want to keep it, yeah, it's one of my prepared
Okay,
spells.
and
so
you
I
get
don't
more
mind
spells
using
than I do. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't mind doing that.
Okay.
So-
Norman, what did Norman have in mind for things he wanted to do? If anything?
I mean, I'm sidekicking.
Andrew, might I presume that we will leave for the Sea Ghost tomorrow or later this afternoon? What am I to presume here?
Well, I don't think you can presume anything. I think I would throw it to you generally that you know that there's a code that this ship follows. It's to make it, you could probably parse it through that to make it work. The ship probably anchors itself offshore, and that's when the messages are transmitted, and then they would take boats out to it to transfer their cargo. As to where it goes offshore, the only other logical connection would be somewhere within sight of the Macaster mansion.
But what I mean to say is, when will that mission start? Have we started that gig immediately, or are we kind of waiting?
Well, they haven't
Oh,
given us a ship yet.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And actually, you know what? That's how we're going to find that ship, I think, is by going back to the Macaster house and signaling that ship to come in. Right? We have that signal code come in. There's booty here to take away. That's how, and we'll ambush them.
But when do we expect that we're going to do that?
When do you want to do that?
Yeah, when do we want to do it?
Well,
Do
I'd
we
love
have
to
to
get
wait?
Fireball in my arsenal by going to the temple.
Yeah,
Well,
so
why-
should we?
Yeah, we've got things to do before we do that.
Yeah,
You
that's
want-
what I mean. Should we focus on Scarface, Bridge, and Fireball? Is
Well-
that on our to-do list?
And I would like to go to Oak Island to
Dan wants
speak
to go to Oak Island, right?
to Lady Tolliver on Oak Island. Follow her back to her island and see what's happening there.
And then we meet at Flounder Pounder for some brewskis and finding Scarface.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Do we split up then? Does
Yeah,
does
we're splitting
Turgar
up.
go with her?
Love
Well,
it.
does Turgar go with his with his sidekick Norman to the island, and then the three of us will do bridge stuff and then temple.
I'm down with that. I'd like. I think, and I'm a bit put off by what's happened. So having Norman now with me, my spidey senses are tingling a little bit here. So to have some backup, I think, is appreciated.
Terragar, I mean this in a non-threatening way. Do you think my ability of bonding with...
No.
I mean it in a non-threatening way. Can I be an asset because of Alona?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
If you love me, you will let
Stay
this
away
go.
from my girlfriend.
Okay. I was just thinking maybe I could help you out, but
No.
I understand. Okay.
All right, I'm just setting you up with some tokens there on the Salt Marsh map. Give me a sec. That one. Oh, that's right. So that's Terragar. Take. And then let's get one for Aurelian. All right, so the first thing we'd have going on is Dan going down to Oak Island, I think
With
you were
Norman.
saying? With Norman.
Norman and I, yeah.
Okay. And then Flounder Pounder, it's going to be not as busy during the day, be busier during the night. So I'm sorry, I was distracted. I missed a bit of what was going on.
They're going to the
we're
bridge first.
We'll do bridge first, temple second, then we can all meet up at Flounder Pounder when it's later in the day.
Copy that. Okay, well then I'll just have a token for Turgar, who will represent Turgar and Norman, and one for Nimraelian, who will represent Nimraelian, Jordan, and Christine. So
Where do we find our tokens here?
they're by the town hall.
Oh, I see. Right.
Okay, so just by virtue of the distances, I think you all get to the Sharkfin Bridge at the same time.
Yeah.
So let's start with that. And anybody who wants to cross that bridge, i.e. to cross it to go to Oak Island, will need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, wait, before we do that then, can Nim try to cast... So none of us have... So he thinks there's a ghost. None of us have any way of seeing into the divine ethereal void, right?
And not a ghost, a curse.
A ghost that has cursed the bridge. So he said two ways of potentially getting rid of it is talking, like finding the ghost, talking with her and convincing her to uncurse it, or to like kill her somehow, or like force her into the void.
Yes.
But nobody has a way of observing ghosts, do we?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Can we just ask?
I can see invisibility. Are ghosts invisible? Would that help me see a ghost if I'm seeing invisibility?
If they're invisible, then that is what that spell does, yeah.
How about we just try asking?
Well, we don't know where she is.
Well, we can just go into the bridge and ask.
Under the bridge?
Yeah. Because she jumped off, didn't she?
You guys want me to do any of this? Because I'm for sure not going to get sick.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I go on to the bridge, I get sick. So anything that we...
Yeah, maybe Glonda, that would be safer if you... Do you want to go into the bridge and ask if there's a ghost?
Because I'm a dwarf?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we're making a pretty decent stereotype there.
Okay, I'll go.
Oh,
I'm
wait
going-
a second!
Oh.
Wait, what's an ethereal creature? Is a ghost an ethereal creature? Because see invisibility
Sounds
allows
like-
you to see ethereal creatures and see the ethereal plane.
Hey!
Ah,
Yes.
yeah.
Holy
Sure does.
Pretty
jeez!
good.
Oh boy!
Look at
Okay.
Andrew's eyes. Look at Andrew's eyes. Aw.
Well, let's do the
So
Glonda
proud.
asking thing first anyway. Just...
Okay, yeah, sure.
Did you prepare that spell? Is that a spell you prepared? Sure.
I mean, it's there.
Why?
I did.
I absolutely
You see the
totally.
screen. You see the screen. It's not prepared. But
Totally.
didn't you say that if something's not prepared, it takes a certain amount of time to then do it?
If it can be cast as a ritual, not all spells can. It's that check
so
mark.
Like detect
There,
magic or whatever was. Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah,
so see invisible.
exactly.
Oh, can we retcon it, please? This is exciting.
Sure.
Thank you.
You saw into the future.
Wait, I give her my inspiration to retcon it.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I think that's a fair trade.
Thank you so much.
All right. So you're over by the bridge. Hey, maybe somebody like a dwarf who knows about stone cutting would want to.
I'm gonna read the walls.
Because honestly, I don't think this game works if at least once per session you don't have a stone cutting roll.
That's right. It's
I
plus
would
Now that I
say
know how
that's
to
probably the
do
main
it
reason
right.
why we're still
I think
alive.
it's +7 now.
It is
It is the reason we're still alive today.
Ciao. Dang it, 12.
Yeah.
Oh,
To be fair, it's about as well as you usually roll for stone cutting. So
Wow.
you're keeping the faith.
it's true.
Can I like take
So-
it again?
Can I do it? No, it gives you everything you're gonna get. You get that it's old. You get that it has been rebuilt several times.
Okay.
You can see where it has been broken and rebuilt. There are buildings, like it is so dense, the pilings have driven into the ground several times. It had to be rebuilt so that more pilings built it up again, mostly because of the weight that's been added on top, these buildings that are on top of it. A collection of shops, some small people actually live on top of this bridge, but mostly it's a thoroughfare where there are trinket sellers and artists, caricaturists, that kind of thing, all mobbing people as they cross the bridge, especially at this time of day too. Trying to make a small living. But otherwise, under the bridge, you don't find anything. Oh, and there's a fair amount of good graffiti under the bridge as well.
What does it say?
Like for a good time, talk to Dagan down at the Flounder Pounder or something like that. Elves suck, and right next to that, gnomes suck, and then after that, it's been wiped out and humans suck, that kind of thing.
Okay. I'm like writing
really
all
high
of
in
that
stuff.
down.
Yeah.
Okay. But other than that, you detect nothing crazy on the bridge.
Glenda,
Yeah.
have you asked if there's a ghost yet?
I haven't asked, but it says elves suck.
Oh, no
Make
wonder
sure you
she cursed
write
the
that
bridge.
down.
I did. Don't worry. Who do I ask if there's a ghost here?
Just
Well-
just ask.
Okay.
Yep.
So the bridge
great
itself,
under the bridge. Is there a ghost in my presence?
so there are like 3 guys fishing off the bridge who are like looking down at this thing. Boy, what's she doing down there? Looks like he's trying to summon up a ghost, I'd say. Yeah, really? That's interesting. See any ghosts lately? No, I haven't seen anything. Maybe she'll bring one up. Oh, that could be a thing. No ghost responds to your query.
If I do a perception, could I perhaps hear ghost stuff?
Sure.
Nim's just like waiting to do her spell, but like I'm not gonna step on her toe. I won't step on her toes. Like she's just like letting her go through all of this.
Oh, and Matthew asked about my divine sense, but I think I used that when we first crossed the bridge.
Yeah, you didn't. I detected that there was magic, and you detected that it wasn't evil.
Is that right? Yeah. Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
It did not give you any additional information. So, Galanda does not perceive anything out of the ordinary under that bridge.
Okay.
That's,
Even with my
so
24 perception?
Glenda,
if there's a
What?
ghost here, it's well hidden.
did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
Just that elves suck. Also,
Hey!
for a good time, we can go to the Flounder Pounder and there's a nice person there. I'm not going to assume their gender. I can't tell by that name. Never heard it before. Anyways,
All right,
I'm gonna come back up now.
Okay.
Nim is gonna cast See Invisibility, which is a level 2 spell slot. And she casts it.
Okay. It is cast. What are you going to do with that newfound ability? Nothing around you reveals itself.
She is going to clench her gut and walk slowly across the bridge, like peering at every possible thing as possible, and also calling out, essentially, to the elven girl, being like, I may see your ethereal spirit. Show yourself, you poor darling thing.
Okay, first off, let's have you roll a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, let's see if I puke while I do this.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Oh. But you actually take away some from that.
Yeah, I think that was a 15, because my Constitution is... Let me see, though. Yeah, Constitution's -1, so 15.
Okay, well, your stomach roils at the effort of crossing this bridge, but you manage to keep your innards together, and more importantly, you manage... Oh, it's not a concentration spell, so it doesn't even matter. So it wouldn't have mattered if you'd tossed your cookies, you'd be fine. And you'd continue to look at invisible things. So, yeah, you're keeping it together, you're looking around. I'll have you make a perception roll now, please.
I remember that I rolled an 18 on this. I really want to find the damn ghost and not puke every time.
Good
yes,
for
I
you.
remember rolling an 18 and then also getting a +5 on that.
Okay.
So if there's a goddamn ghost, Nim sees it.
All right. Well, you look around intently, and sure enough, you've seen this bridge before. You remember it. It came to you last night, maybe in a dream, maybe in a waking vision during your trance. And something very familiar about this place. And you're looking around, and you snap your head back to the way you came, and you see hiding ethereally, but hiding, sort of glancing on the side of a building, is a tiny figure.
Oh.
It is not a ghost.
Oh.
At least it is not what you would think of as a ghost.
Oh.
Yes, and eventually...
Gonna be
when
sad.
this-
It's Kitty Vitty.
Oh!
Hi, Kitty Vitty.
It is
Well,
It looks like a tiny red-skinned humanoid with a barbed tail, small horns, and leathery wings.
a demon.
And it is translucent. As you can tell, it's normally you wouldn't be able to see that, but your See Invisibility spell has definitely made you look at it. And as you look at it, it locks eyes with you, and it makes a shocked look like, oh, this thing sees me. And it zips out of view.
Oh, the poor demon.
Nim sends a message to Glonda and says, "There's a young demon child. I'm going to chase it. Follow me." And she chases after the demon child.
Yeah,
All right.
I start chasing after Nima, and I'm going, this isn't worth it. This is kind of creepy.
Okay, it heads back east, back along that road. So you're chasing right past the rest of your party as you chase after it. Roll your dexterity for me, please.
Oh,
Dexterity
no.
ability check.
Okay, my dex is gonna be... Oh, is that just like a +3? Just like general dexterity?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Oh, sweet.
Shit.
Ooh,
22.
Sweet sassy molassie.
Yeah. You
21.
totally gain on it, and it is sort of... It's leapt into the air and is flying, but you are still gaining on it. It, for whatever reason, has to sort of scoot past people, or it's looking over its back, and it bounces off something as somebody who goes, "Hey, what the heck was that?" You can't see it. Meanwhile, you deftly sidestep it, and you're within 10 feet of it. And meanwhile, Galanda is following you, like, "Where are we going?"
Am I catching up? Am I slow? I'm pretty slow.
Please, let me have you have a dexterity roll as well.
Okay. You asked for it.
Anything could happen.
A big fat 7. My little stumpy legs.
Oh.
You collide with some tall human and sending a load of firewood everywhere.
Okay, so everything is just like, oh, ow, sorry, oh, demon baby. Oh,
let's have a check. I want you to roll something for me, Nim, and I'm gonna have you roll. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Arcana, actually.
Sweet. I will roll Arcana.
Rolled pretty good. Then.
16 plus 8.
You have absolutely no doubt that this is an imp. It is a tiny fiend, a tiny devil. And you know that these are often used as familiars for various spellcasters.
Oh, poor guy.
But when you use them as a familiar, are they ethereal?
Some creatures have the ability to go invisible.
Oh.
You're pretty sure that an imp is one of them.
Okay.
Interesting.
Actually, you would even know that he probably has the ability to change his form into various small beasts, and that he's probably resistant to magic, and that he has a poison stinger as an attack, which is
on his tail.
pretty nasty. Yeah. So, be warned.
Okay.
What do you wish to do? 'Cause you're within range of him.
Yeah.
Go get him.
I could do slow, which is a level 3 spell, which would affect his speed. He couldn't run nearly as far away. He can't use reactions. Can't make more than one melee. That kind of stuff. I could just try to slow him down because I don't know if he's actually bad or not. He's just running away.
He's an imp.
I guess you're right, but I also know
Generally,
that he's
they're not good aligned creatures.
Yeah, but I also don't want to kill him. I kind of just want to restrain him, but I don't actually have many good restraining. I've got Mage Hand. No, wait, that's not it. That's not the one I wanted. I wanted to change Mage Hand out for something, and I already forget what it was. Gosh darn it. Now that it's like a cat that caught a mouse. It's like, what do you do with the imp once it's within reach? Can she just when she gets that close, how does he react? Does he just keep
He's trying to get away. He is not doing anything but trying to run away.
Okay, suppose she could just continue him to see where he's getting. Does he seem like he's going in a direction, or he's just sporadically trying to get out of her sight?
The way he's going, it seems that he is definitely running from you, and he's looking back at you more than he's looking where he's going, which is why he is not doing very well. So
okay.
You have a sense he's not trying to go somewhere so much as trying to get away.
I'll cast slow because I would have loved some kind of restraining thing, but I will cast slow because then I alter the time for him, and then his speed gets halved, so then he really can't run away from me at that point.
Okay.
So I'll try that.
I believe he gets to make a saving throw.
He does. It is a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. And he rolls this at advantage because he's magically resistant. So.
Resistant.
Oh yeah, that's right, because of magic.
That's right. So he gets a +1 on this roll. What's your spell save DC?
I also remember that one of his rolls was a 6.
That works. Yeah, so nicely timed. How'd that work? So one of his rolls was a 6, so I will roll
one other
of them.
one, and if it's better than a 6, then he gets it. But at
It
least
takes
I
it. Yeah, okay.
took down one of his good rolls.
Definitely. So, let's see what you got. Oh, that totally worked for you. You rolled a
Woohoo!
7, so +1 is an 8. He is now slowed.
Yippee!
And I guess I will give him the duck icon. That it's like a slow thing. So, yeah, he's slowly trying to fly away from you, but now his movement speed is slower than yours. So, if you want to catch up to him, you can. What do you want to do?
I know he has the poison thing, right? I think I'm right by Turgar, so I might send a quick mental message to Turgar and say there's a poisonous imp here or something like that, so that because Turgar has that ability to remove poison or something, right?
I do.
Okay. Yeah, and then just try to catch the imp. Be like, you stop your running this instant, young imp.
Okay, so are you telling him to stop, or are you grappling with him to stop?
First, I'm just going to. She is deathly afraid of imps. No, she just doesn't. She doesn't like being poisoned. She's had a time with slugs, and fire, and poison,
Been
and all
some tough
sorts of
times
things.
with poison,
So-
yeah.
So yeah, I think she's trying to pull in the big rig Turgar because she's just fright. She only has 20 HP. She's uses magic and he's resistant to it, so she kind of needs a melee buddy in there.
Okay. So,
She calls
Tergar,
to help of Turgar.
you get the message. You see she's chasing something that you can't see.
And I respond and say, "What am I looking at? What?
So, and this would be verbal outside, at a distance, because her messages go to you, but you can't respond.
Yeah, you'd have to
Where
run
am
to
I
me.
in relation to this? I'm at the foot of the bridge, right? So
You're
I'm
still
like,
at the foot of the bridge. She's about 60 feet further east now. and
I'm
tearing
yelling.
back.
I'm yelling that, and I'm starting to run in her direction.
Okay.
What?
Everybody else do?
Is Terror gonna pass me so fast?
No, I think you're ahead. No, you roll pretty bad on your dex. So you're coming to your feet when he is yelling what, moving past. What are Norman and Jondron going to do in the midst of all of this? Something's clearly upsetting them.
I guess I got distracted by the fishermen and we were just having a chat.
I was
And I've been
running
asking them if they knew any
behind Turgar,
ghosts in the area.
But,
He's my wingman.
Yeah, but I stopped when we passed Glonda. I stopped and helped Glonda up.
Oh, it's about time.
Birds of a feather. Nice. Okay, you're up.
Oh,
You're
look.
up on your feet.
Really?
I know, he
boy.
looks so comfy.
I know, I can't stop looking.
He looks so
Oh,
comfortable.
poor baby.
All right, Brooke. What do you want him to do? So are you commanding
Okay.
him to stop, or are you?
So I think she'd like to command him to stop, but then I was thinking of, I've got some of that gunpowder in my bag, and I was thinking of actually taking it and tossing it on him so that they could see a figural outline of him.
Okay. Matt has helpfully contributed that if it's a message cantrip, the recipient can reply. So Turgar shouts back anyway, and it shouts
Way to
in your head.
go! Man, we've got such helpful listeners.
Yes.
You sure do. Okay, so let's have you roll. You're gonna have to roll a dexterity ability check, and it's gonna have to be pretty decent to do what you want to do.
To just launch some gunpowder in an area?
He is moving, and you are moving.
Slowly.
He's
But all right,
still
I
moving.
accept. I fully accept, DM. I'm not always going to fight you. I think I only rolled like a 9.
A 9?
Or 10.
Okay.
10.
There's a 10? Okay, so you
It's a 10.
you empty your container of your bag of gunpowder into the area, and some of the particles do land on the imp. Dan, Turgar can roll a perception check at disadvantage to see if he sees
At disadvantage?
Because I didn't do a great job.
Yeah.
Unlike the DM, who's nailing it. Oh, yeah.
So 5 plus, but I've got great perception, so 13.
13. There's something there. but you're not able to get a beat on it. You see something moving in front of her, and she's not generally crazy, so it's probably something.
Can I not with the general sort of what I see could could I cast my summon Fae in that general vicinity and have it be a mirthful Fae? So
And
that
would it,
well, as a mirthful Fae, it forces the target to make a wisdom saving throw, and if it's
charm
unsuccessful,
him?
it's charmed.
yeah, you could try that.
I am using summoning Fae for the first time. I'd like to introduce everybody to Little Derek.
Yay, little Derek.
Little Derek. And that's Little Derek. L-I-L apostrophe
Little
Derek.
Well, Derek.
Okay.
How do you spell
He's
Derek?
He's being mirthful.
Okay,
What was
so
the I forgot it.
Okay, so that's you. Jordan, you're still having a conversation with the fisherman? Is that where you're...
Yeah. Unless I don't think I noticed anything happening.
It's likely. If you're on the bridge, you got to make a Constitution saving throw for me, my friend.
I'm underneath the bridge, aren't I?
No, there... yeah, actually, let's make him underneath the bridge. That makes sense. So, there's a spare fishing rod nearby.
Oh, I will try to catch some.
Excellent. We might have you make a roll.
Wasn't it
next round, so-
formerly Derek that we had before?
Formerly
Derek.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice. All right. So Norman and Glonda have regained their feet, and you see
My feet are
Turgar
back.
chasing after the moon. Yes, you have got them back now.
How far
So-
away am I?
They're probably about 100 feet further east than you guys.
Right.
Dang.
And we saw Nim throw something in the air and Tergar react kind of, but don't really know what happened.
Yeah.
Except that there's a beautiful little guy that's joined our party.
Yeah, little Derek. We could see
And I
little
think
Derek.
he has a crush on Petrie already.
Oh.
So did the charming work or did it not work?
haven't
He'll
tried
roll
it
next
yet.
round for that.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and to clarify with that, so it's the target makes a wisdom saving throw against my spell save DC,
Yep.
Which
That'll definitely be a thing.
which is +8, right? It's my wisdom.
The other number there.
What?
There's a number beside that which says spell save DC.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
It's down below
Uh,
near my spell stuff, right? Isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, if
+8.
that
It is.
doesn't
I was right. +8. Yeah.
If that doesn't work, I will charm from afar
plus
because I
16,
have the
sorry.
range. So I'm gonna start running.
Okay, so you're running. Norman.
I'm running alongside. I'm sidekicking Glonda now.
Yeah, we're holding hands
Okay.
and we're running.
We're holding hands
Oh.
over a bridge.
Yeah.
We might be
All right.
skipping a little bit.
Yeah.
Nimmerilian is basically on top of this imp who is like sort of screeching in a really acidic, slimy set collection of words and trying to get away, but is like definitely
Can
not
she-
enjoying being
Can
chased
she
this way.
understand him?
No.
Okay.
It is a language that you do not understand.
I do have
are you-
comprehend languages.
Would you like to cast that spell?
Not wait
Yes.
for it. Wait for it. Wait.
What?
Well, how long does that spell last?
An hour.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because if I compel it to, if I charm it, then we want to know what it has to say, right? But that's good. That's good.
Okay, so you're basically just running alongside it, or because like you can run faster than it now.
Yep, she's just kind of. And Petrie's like on the other side of it, like they're both like, slow
Okay.
down.
Oh, there's Petrie.
Okay, it's gonna take a swipe at you because it doesn't like this at all. So it tries to sting you with its.
Well, she
tries to
takes it.
sting
She's
with
not
its stick.
within stinging distance.
Oh.
She's too terrified of that darn tail.
Yeah, whatever's happening, it's impossible for it to sting Nima. Nima wants to
So
make
you're
that very
keeping-
clear.
So you're keeping a respectful distance from it. Is that it?
Respecting its
Okay.
respecting the social
There's
distancing
no
protocols.
chance it could possibly attack.
If it keeps running away, for sure. All right, Dan, let's have you try and make your roll here. It's going to be a disadvantage because it has magic resistance, and if this doesn't work, it's going to get away, and we'll deal with it next round.
What?
or
Wait,
next session.
no, I don't roll. It rolls.
Oh, you're right. It rolls.
And
at-
did I not do comprehend languages, or will I do that later? I don't understand.
Oh, okay. You can cast your spell. It is saying. I don't think you understand what language it is, but it is definitely not a nice language. It is saying things like, "I gotta get away. The master's not gonna like this. Shouldn't have been seen. Cover's blown. Get away from me, you elven squat."
It's the cutest little imp I've ever heard.
Okay, and
then I understand, but I cannot then speak it back, I believe.
that's correct.
Okay, cool.
Okay, and the base spirit, you want it to. If you want to try and charm it, it has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, and my it's 16, not 8.
Yes, it's 16. So it gets advantage on saves. But
Oh, come on, man.
Yep.
Imp.
Advantage on saving throws against spells or other magical effects. So
Dirty imp.
Dirty imp. But
Okay.
maybe it'll blow it. So
Easy.
16 it needs.
Yeah.
And it gets +1 on this.
Woo!
Ooh, he fails. So he googly eyes looks at the Fae and goes, "You're my new friend." That's what you hear in his guttural, slimy, acidic language, and he stops
He says
flying
that
and
they're friends now.
he looks straight at the Fae spirit, and the Fae spirit probably does a tee-hee-hee, wanders around. And
Oh, Derek.
"Where have you been, my life? This is great. Who is this elf that I was running from? I don't understand anything, but I really like being here."
Ask him who his master is, Derek.
Derek. I'm just wondering, my good old friend, what are you doing on this bridge?
And that's a good place to leave it for tonight.
Wow.
Tune in next week when we see the blossoming love affair between an imp and a Fae spirit. Will they get along? Will it pair down?
And will Jojondron catch that fish?
That's what everybody's really wondering.
Yeah.
is what kind of fish will come up? Will it turn into a new hobby for Jojondron? Will it replace
Perhaps.
rock collecting?
I think it's time for a new bit, and considering this is a seafaring voyage, Rod, I think
A new bit.
Jojondron being interested in fishing is just the right thing.
Totally on brand. That's great. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this was super fun. Is there anything we would like to say to our wonderful studio audience before we wrap for the evening?
Well, not to the wonderful studio audience, but to Jordan's desk. I would like to apologize again for the thank you.
Get that chair out of the
for
way.
That chair is
For
obscuring our view.
the
Jordan.
comments I made before we went live. You're a wonderful desk. I am sure you serve and work with Jordan very nicely. I've heard only wonderful things from the typewriter
Okay, I'm ending the
about
bit.
what you do.
Thank you so much. I actually really appreciate all the fun tidbits again, helping us carry along. So it's really awesome.
My pleasure. You guys did super great tonight. So we are off next week, but we will be back 2 weeks hence, which, if my math is correct, is December 15th. So I look forward to seeing all of you and you and you and you and you at home in
Oh my
2
God.
weeks.
He looked at the camera. I thought he looked right at me.
No, it's to me.
Oh, sorry. Nema's like, ooh.
All right.
Al, sing us out.
Yeah. That's all, folks.